Um, yeah, man, this is going to be a rant. This is going to be a rambling, but I'm going to talk about these two particular subjects, or should I say topics or whatever. Number one, college, and number two, insecurities. I'm gonna start it off like this. When it comes to college, I realize a lot of people like to put it down, and I understand the reasons why. Even though I went to college and graduated, I understand their reasons why. And I agree with some of their sentiments. But then I realized something. Half of the people who talks down on college usually are the ones who never graduated from college, let alone never graduated from high school. I mean, I'm not trying to put those people down, but if you don't have any concrete evidence, or better yet, if you never have experienced, you know what I'm saying? If you never have the true experience of going to college, then what the fuck do you know? You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, I'm not trying to put people down who never went to college, but you have people who never went to college, better yet, who never graduated out of high school, will make up ignorant claims about how college is really bad. But in actuality, it's really not. And I'll tell you why. When it comes to college is good for one thing, and that is networking. And what I mean by networking, I'm talking about socializing with different people, mainly, like other students, but also but for the most part, the most important part, your teachers and also your administrators in that school. And by talking to those teachers, aka those professors and your administrators, they can hook you up with a decent job, or better yet, they can hook you up with a career. You know what I'm saying? By working with these Fortune 500 companies, or working at or any other company whatsoever. But by talking to those teachers and those professors and those administrators, they could hook you up with a job or career in different companies or whatever. So that's why network is a very good thing when it comes to college. And like I said before, man. Oh, and also too, when it comes to me, the greatest gift that was ever placed upon me in college was the experience. You know what I'm saying? The college experience, because what I've learned in college, I learned that the people that I interacted with changed my whole life perspective. You know what I'm saying? With the people that changed my whole life perspective about the world as a whole. Because for a long time I thought that the United States was the end all to be all. Then I realized that the world is so much bigger than the US of A. And by talking to different people, mainly a lot of overseas students, they basically told me their background, their cultures, their political viewpoints, and all that stuff, man. So it made me not only humble, but also grounded, and also I had the ability to become more open-minded about people's viewpoints and their cultures and their upbringings. That was the true blessing on my part when it came to college. I mean, of course, networking is one thing, but when it comes to when it comes to the mental and spiritual, man, that was the greatest gift that college that ever gave me, man. That has ever gave me. It gave me a more open viewpoint. It made me more grounded. It made me more humble, and it made me realize that the United States was so much bigger. I mean, it made me realize that the world is so much bigger than the United States of America. So I'm very grateful about my college experience. You know. And also number two, let me get on number two, insecurities. Like for example, you could be walking down the street, and you may have on some nice clothes, or better yet, a nice suit, and the suit fits well on you. You can, mind your own business walking down the street, but then you got a couple of haters, a couple of, people that's hating on you and all that stuff, man. They'll say, oh, look what he got on. He think he's sharp and all that stuff. Oh, look at Mister Look Good or something like that. See, it ain't what they say, it's how they say it. You know what I'm saying? And when people say things like that, they say it in a very condescending but yet mean way. You know what I'm saying? At first, you know what I'm saying, you may smile, walk away and all that stuff, brush it off a little bit. But then a few minutes later, it dawns on you, and you think like, wait a minute, why that person said it that type of way? You know what I'm saying? As far as me wearing this suit or wearing these nice clothes, I'll tell you why. It's because people are very envious, they jealous, and also it shows their insecurities about themselves. Listen, man, we all insecure to some degree. You know what I'm saying? And we all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. I say it again. We all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to, talk about somebody just because that person may dress well and all that stuff. It's like, if that person looks good in those clothes, that person looks good on those clothes. But you have other people who are haters of that person because that person may be wearing nicer clothes than them. See, that shows off their jealousy, but they project their jealousy and their insecurities on that person who's dressing nice and all that stuff, man. See, when it comes to people like that, you got to shake those people off. You got to shake it off, man. Just go on about your business. That's their problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying? That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's their problem, not yours. And mine's either. You know what I'm saying? But, I realize, man, when it comes to insecurities is a detriment. It really is a detriment to one's character. Because if you're totally insecure about yourself, man, that means that you gotta work on yourself. That means you gotta work on your character. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong, man. We all have some insecurities about ourselves, but if your insecurity is way too big to the point that you can't have a functioning relationship, let alone a friendship with a person, that says something about you. That says something about you as a whole because, number one, you don't know who you are, and number two, you're threatened by the other person's success or character per se. Because I realize, man, when it comes to insecurity and all that stuff and jealousy, sometimes it's not all about what you have. Sometimes it's about who you are. You know what I'm saying? Character is who you are. And some people are even jealous of your character. Like you're saying, you could be a very noble person, but you have some people out there that can be hating on you because you are a noble, because you are a noble person. It bees like that, man. It be like that. and by hating on that noble person, that says something about you. That means that you got to work on yourself, buddy. You got to work on your character. Don't be jealous about that person's character, man. Why don't you work your way on up? Why don't you become a better person too? You know what I'm saying? Know your strength and also know your weaknesses. But a lot of people don't think about stuff like that, man. A lot of people don't want to self-reflect. Because in my honest opinion, in order for you to get better, you must have some level of self-reflection. Because without that self-reflection, how can you grow? How can you grow as a person? And I realize, man, and also too, like I said, I don't talk down to religion, but you have a lot of religious people out here. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of Christianity. That's that are Christians, Muslims, that are that's a part of Judaism. You have a lot of these people that's a part of these, religious institutions. Those are the very same people that are very insecure about themselves. Those are the very same people that are, jealousy. They're full of jealousy and they're envious of others too. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a religious person does not mean you're a good person. You can be very envious, very jealous-hearted, you know what I'm saying, and very insecure about yourself. You know what I'm saying? See, what I don't like about religious people is that they like to hide behind their religion. You know what I'm saying? When it comes, because I realize a lot of these, not all of them, but I realize some of these religious people are very cowards. They are cowards, man. They like to throw stones and hide their hands, and they like to hide behind their Bible. They like to hide behind their religion by saying that they're a good person, or they're saying that they're a good Christian person. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit, man. It lets me know that that person is very flawed. I mean, we all flawed creatures, but it lets me know that those people are flawed on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make you a good. That doesn't make you a good human being. And you don't have to be a Christian to hide your hands. I mean, you don't have to be a Christian in order for you to throw stones and hide your hands. You know what I'm saying? You could be a regular person. But what I realize about people that's a part of these religious institutions, they claim that they know God and all that stuff, but those are the same main people that do a lot of dirty stuff behind the scenes, out here doing dirt but looking clean. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that a bitch? But overall, what I'm trying to say is, man, I know I've been saying this over and over and over again, but it's the truth. We as a people need to have self-reflection. We need to have self-awareness, and we need to know ourselves. We need to know our strengths and our weaknesses. Malcolm X said it best: know thyself and do for self. Socrates said it best: know thyself. We have to. Even for me, I have to know myself too. But here's the difference about me. I don't like to pick on other people's downfalls, and I don't like to expose other people's dirty laundry. Because think about it, I got dirty laundry too. And guess what? Even though like for example, even if my closet is clean, what gives me the right to expose somebody else's dirty laundry? You know what I'm saying? We're all human beings. You know what I'm saying? We all have flaws. We all have strengths and weaknesses. So who the fuck am I? I'm not God. I'm just a regular person like you and me. It's just that I had the wherewithal to clean out my closet. But at the same time, you can do the same thing too. I'd be damned to expose other people's dirty laundry, knowing damn well I'd experience the same thing too. So who the fuck am I? But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, man. You know, that's all I gotta say. You know, in the end, listen, in the end, man, it all begins and ends with ourselves.